classic old movie we're reviewing today is The Last of the Mohicans. I must admit, I've watched this movie a good many times. It's everything I want in a movie. Here is the DVD cover. This film was made in 1992. The director was Michael Mann. The studio that made it was Michael Mann Films. Producers were Michael Mann, Hunt Lowry, and James P. Robinson. The distributor was 20th Century Fox. Music was done by Randy Edelman, and the composer was Trevor Jones. The studio who made the movie was Morgan Creek Entertainment, and the budget at that time was $40 million. I believe it made $140 million. The cast of characters, the main characters. Hawkeye was played by Daniel Day-Lewis. Cora Monroe by Madeline Stowe. Chingachgook by Rush Means. Uncas by Eric Schweig. Alice Monroe by Jody Mayo. Major Duncan Hayward, Steve Waddington. Magoo was Wes Studi, the villain. Monroe was Morris Graves. Gunner Mantcallum was Patrick Cleroux. And Jack Withrop was played by Edward Blatford. There are other known actors in this also. It won an Academy Award for Best Sound. Michael Mann's only Academy Award, surprising. It was nominated for 7 BAFTA Awards and Best Actor by Daniel Day-Lewis. It won Best Cinematography and Best Makeup Artist. It was an historical drama. The film is set in the mid-1700s during the French and Indian War versus the English. This film was released in the US September 1992. It did receive positive reviews. The plot. British Army Major Duncan Hayward arrives in Albany, New York during the French and Indian and English War. He's assigned to Colonel Edmund Monroe, the commander of Fort William Henry, in the Adirondack Mountains. Hayward is tasked with escorting Monroe's 2 daughters, Cora and Alice, to their father. Before they leave, Hayward asks Cora to marry him, but she asks for more time. A Huron named Magua, masquerading as a Mohawk ally, is tasked with guiding the task force to the fort, but instead leads them into ambush that kills most of the soldiers. Mohican Chingachgook, his son Uncas, and his white adopted son Hawkeye arrive and kill all of the Hurons except Magua, who escapes. The trio agrees to take the woman to the fort. They find the fort under siege by the French and the Huron. Nobody can get in, nobody can get out, but they sneak in by the river. Now, Monroe had told the militiamen fighting there they could leave to protect their homesteads if they were threatened, but he reneges on that. Hawkeye helps him sneak away. Monroe arrests Hawkeye and charges him with treason. When the French and the English come to an agreement, the English leave the fort, but then the Hurons massacre them as they're marching out. Magua promises that he will kill Monroe's daughters and cut out Monroe's heart. I guess Monroe was leading the English when Magua's family had been massacred. Magua takes his three prisoners, who he captures, to a Huron settlement. While addressing a meeting, Hawkeye walks in unarmed to parley for their lives. The Indians rule that Hayward is returned to the British, so the British won't be too pissed off. Alice is to be given to Magua for the wrongs done to him by Monroe, and Cora be burned alive. Although Hawkeye is told he may leave in peace, he offers to take Cora's place. Hayward, who is acting as interpreter, turns the hero and tells the Hurons to take his life for Cora's. As Hawkeye is leaving the village with Cora, he turns back and shoots Hayward, who is being burned alive as a mercy. Chingachgook, Uncas, and Hawkeye then pursue Magua's party to rescue Alice. Uncas races ahead and kills several of the Hurons in combat, but is killed by Magua and thrown off the cliff's edge. Devastated to see Uncas' demise, Alance, who is in love with him, refuses to remain with Magua and jumps off the cliff, committing suicide. Enraged, Hawkeye and Chingachgook catch up to the Hurons and kill many of them. Hawkeye then holds the rest at gunpoint, allowing Chingachgook to fight and kill Magua, avenging the Uncas' death. Afterwards, Chingachgook prays to the Great Spirit to receive Uncas, proclaiming himself the last of the Mohicans. Also, there are a few other well-known actors in there. Dennis Banks, Pete Postlethwaite, who is one of my favorite actors, Colm Meaney, Mac Andrews, Malcolm Story, David Schofield, Eric D. Sandgren, Mark Edries, Tim Harper, Jared Harris, Sebastian Roche, and Curtis Gaston, all character actors who have been seen in many films. I much enjoyed this movie and will watch it again. I hope you do too. Take care now. Bye.